Hi, turning to the extend lens as we explore below topics and more. First officer relief after denouncing Marxism, critical race theory in military. Former professor sentenced to 37 months in prison to using federal grants to aid China's medical research. Delta allies to force new employees to get COVID-19 vaccines. McKissick defeats pro-Trump lawyers Linwood in race for head of South Carolina GOP. Welcome back to the Extend Lens. I'm your host Katherine Dang. We will be posting exclusive episodes daily you can only find in the Extend Lens. So we invite you to like and subscribe. And let's start today by talking about first officer relief after denouncing Marxism's critical race theory in military. A U.S. Space Force commanding officer was removed from his post after publishing a book that warned of the spread of Marxism and critical race theory in the military. The Space Force confirmed that its relief Air Commodore Matthew Cormier, a former instructor and fighter pilot, as commander of the 11th Space Warning Squadron. Jan 7 Whiting, Space Operations Command Commander, relieved Air Commodore Matthew Cormier of command of the 11th Space Warning Squadron, Berkeley Air Force Base, Colorado, May 14, due to loss of trust and confidence in his ability to lead. The Space Force said in a statement to various news outlets over the weekend. And the second news we're going to discuss about. Former professor sentenced to 37 months in prison for using federal grants to aid China's medical research. A biomedical professor has been sentenced to 37 months in prison for carrying out a scheme to use millions of dollars in federal grants money to advance research in China, according to the Justice Department. He was arrested last May in Anchorage, Alaska, as he was preparing to board a chartered flight to China in an attempt to flee the United States, the DOJ said. When taken into custody, he was carrying multiple items, including 2 laptops, 3 cell phones, several USB drives, several bars of silver, expired Chinese passport for his family, and deeds for property in China, prosecutors said. And the third news we're going to discuss about Delta allies to force new employees to get COVID-19 vaccines. Delta Airlines is requiring all new employees to get vaccinated against the virus that causes COVID-19, becoming one of the first U.S. companies to mandate the shots. Delta will require all new hires in the U.S. to be vaccinated against COVID-19 unless they qualify for an accommodation, the company said in a statement. The requirement will protect Delta's employees and customers, ensuring the airline can safely operate as the number of fires increases, the company said.
I'm not going to mandate and force people if they have some specific reason why they don't want to get vaccinated, but I'm going to strongly encourage them and make sure they understand the risks to not getting vaccinated.
CEO Ed Bastian told CNN in a recent interview at the Delta Flight Museum in Atlanta, which is being used as a vaccination center. And the fourth news we are going to discuss about McKissick defeats pro-Trump lawyer Linwood in race for head of South Carolina GOP. Pro-Trump attorney Linwood failed in his bid to become chairman of the South Carolina Republican Party, losing to incumbent Drew McKissick. The chairman won a third term with 68% of the vote, or drew the second most votes, collecting 239 to McKissick's 582, the state GOP said on May 15. The 2 other challengers received just 37 votes combined. Thanks to the grassroots activists across the state, the SC GOP is stronger than it's even better. McKissick said in a statement, "We've proved we have a winning coalition of conservatives who are committed to beating Democrats, and I'm honored they've chosen to re-elect me to lead that fight." And finally, today we send you an inspiring story about 22-month-old lungs collapsed after he was born with cysts, but thanks to health workers, he is thriving. Will and Erin Catherine's 22-month-old son Charlie suffers from a potentially fatal lung condition. He was still in his mother's womb when they learned of the cysts that were in his lungs. The couple from the UK were heartbroken, yet with the help of healthcare workers, Charlie is now looking forward to his second birthday. Married for about 3 years, the Newcastle-based couple met in school and fell in love. They learned of Charlie's condition during Erin's pregnancy, but had their doctor's assurance that all was safe. However, things wasn't once Charlie entered the world. When Charlie was born, his lung collapsed. I held him for around 30 seconds before he was rushed into SCBU, Special Care Baby Unit. When Charlie was born, his lung collapsed. I held him for around 30 seconds before he was rushed into SCBU, Special Care Baby Unit, NICU, said Erin. There they did an X-ray and saw there was air around his lung, so they inserted a chest drain into him to drain the air. Charlie underwent several CT scans, blood tests, and a bronchoscopy to gauge his health and find the right treatment for him. He was then prepped for surgery in December. Now almost 2 years though, Charlie is doing much better. He enjoys life like most kids his age, despite having CCAM. Even when the majority of his left lung was taken up by cysts, he has always been such a wild baby considering the circumstances. That's why he needed for surgery, and the results for his CT scan last December was such a shock to us and his consultant, explained the mother. As Charlie continues growing, he is also becoming more aware of his surroundings. He doesn't like to lie down for X-rays or checkups, which makes treatment for difficult. Nor is treatment entirely over yet for the little man. We can't explain how happy and relieved we were to find out that his cysts weren't cancerous and were in fact just aggressive CCAM and burst lymph nodes, said Erin. However, there is a slim chance that we could go through this all over again and be told for the third time they think Charlie may have cancerous cysts due to the fact that there are still some cysts left in his upper left lung. Only the lower lobe was removed. And that's all for today, my friends. What do you think? Let me know below. If you like what you heard, don't forget to share to at least one of your friends, because everyone deserves to know the truth. Thanks for tuning to Extend Lens. I'm Katherine Dang, and see you next time.